Hi guys, I'm back again. Just took a little break from YouTube, but I'm still here, still making videos, and I had my birthday on the July 15th, turned 26. A few days ago, someone told me that they thought I was 16, so I was patting myself on the back because I always like those nice compliments. Really not much has been going on. Still drinking a lot of raw milk, raw cheese, butter, sprouted grain bread, animal foods, vegetables, fruits. Really just eating a whole wide variety of foods lately. Haven't really been that strict with my diet. Probably had some things that I shouldn't have had, but you know, as long as I'm happy and I feel alright, I guess that's what's most important. But I would like to talk about doctors because most of you know my stance on doctors, and if you don't, well, now you will. For the most part, I think doctors are great when it comes to emergency situations like surgeries and things like that, but as far as treating or curing a particular disease, I think they fail miserably. The bottom line is that all drugs are poisons, and poisons will toxify your body, and we should not be putting foreign substances into our bodies on a continual basis because it will lead to health problems. The best thing to do if you are sick is to first cause no harm. So you want to clean up your diet, you want to eat better, and then you want to take natural herbs or natural medicines that are found in foods and plants. And that's my stance. My goal is to never step into a doctor's office for the rest of my life. I don't get my cholesterol checked. I don't get any of these other things checked because I don't think that, you know, we really need to rely on these types of blood tests in order to figure out if we're healthy or not. Because for the most part, the whole cholesterol thing is just a big myth. Our ancestors weren't stressing about, you know, their HDL, their LDL, and you know, their blood pressure and all these different things. And don't get me wrong, all of those definitely have a part to play in being healthy. But to rely on a test to determine if you are healthy or not is something that I don't really agree with. Because as far as I'm concerned, it seems like so many people rely on a certain set of numbers or guidelines that they want all humans to fall into. And if you're not in that particular number, then therefore you must not be healthy, or there must be something wrong with you. So what they do is they create all of these drugs and they try to get everybody into like a certain set of numbers, like a certain cholesterol range, and then they deem you healthy. You know, they put the stamp on the paper and say, you got good cholesterol levels, so that means you're never going to get a heart attack. You know, and I just don't simply believe that. Because, you know what, our ancestors just ate natural foods, they were out in the sunlight, they were getting their exercise from just daily activities, and they weren't stressing out about their next doctor's appointment and what their cholesterol levels were, what their blood pressure was. They didn't rely on all these tests, and they were healthier than we are, and they lived to their ripe old age without all of the diseases that we see of today. So, you know what? It's better for people to educate themselves and be their own doctor and take natural medicines instead of relying on a doctor. And a lot of times doctors are sicker than the patients, and so why would the patients ever expect to get well from taking advice from somebody that is sick in the first place? Many doctors don't know what MSM is, aleuropin, garlic, echinacea. They don't understand probiotics. Very simple things. They just don't understand. They don't understand the dangers of pasteurized dairy products. They have a fear of fat. They think saturated fat is evil. Yeah, animal fat contains the fat-soluble vitamins, so if you get rid of the animal fat in your diet, then you're going to be low in those certain vitamins that are important for your health, especially your teeth. So, you know what? There's a lot of things that doctors are going to give you a hard time with if you step into their office and you try to explain to them about taking natural things or trying to address your health issues naturally or holistically. They'll probably laugh at you, and it'll probably be a very uncomfortable situation for you. So it's up to every individual their choices they make in trying to deal with whatever health problem you're going through. And I'm not saying not to go to the doctor. I'm just saying that a lot of doctors just aren't educated in nutrition, and if you're trying to go that route to healing your health problems, it's best to stay away from a doctor and go to some type of natural practitioner or naturopath. So most of the time, people that are really sick or have something wrong with them can really get well just by going back to a natural foods diet. Even if it's 80% of your overall diet, for the most part, you can get well. And if you just learn from others like me on my YouTube channel, you can really gain a lot of knowledge, so you really can take care of yourself until the day you die. So I think the education system, as far as our health is concerned, sucks. I wish that they would teach kids in school a lot of these this natural health education, how to eat properly, that animal fats, if they're from grass-fed animals, are really healthy, and then, teach them about like herbs, like echinacea, like garlic, different medicinal plants that are really great for you that anybody can take on a regular basis. So I wish that young people could learn these types of things that they could actually use throughout their lives, instead of a lot of this other pointless information that doesn't really help them throughout their life. So we kind of have things switched around, in this world, and we should really learn from our ancestors and from Native Americans and try to get back to more of a natural lifestyle. So for the most part, doctors are okay for like surgery and saving lives and stuff like that, but stay away from the drugs, because nobody needs drugs. There's natural alternatives that are much more effective and safe, and that's the bottom line. So if you're wondering what my position was on doctors, now you know.